大家好，我是派妹，欢迎来到派学院频道。节目开始之前，请大家点击点赞、订阅和小铃铛，这真的很重要哦。昨天我们播放了 CNBC 采访范博士，很多派友会问 CNBC 是干什么的？在维基百科中详细的介绍了 CNBC。CNBC 是美国消费者新闻与商业频道，又称美国全国广播公司商业频道。CNBC 是英语 Consumer News and Business Channel 的缩写。CNBC 是美国一家通过有线电视、卫星电视和互联网覆盖美加地区的财经新闻频道。下面我们一起来看一看 CNBC 采访 Nicholas Kokolas 博士。
Well, we're pleased to have with us this afternoon Nicholas Kokolas. He's the founder of Pi Network. Nicholas, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'd like to begin with, kind of your thought as to what is it about Pi Network, if you had to explain it to a novice, that makes it unique and advantageous for crypto investors, crypto miners. What do you think about it?
Thanks for this question, Dorian. So Pi is really accessible to everyone out there. People can mine it by themselves using their mobile phones. So as long as you have a mobile device, you can participate. And then once you have mined it, and eventually, especially when we migrate everyone to the mainnet, which we can talk about it later, then you can use that currency to perform various activities on the network, which we call utilities. So Pi applications and other things. And the beauty of this is that even people who wouldn't be able to participate in this process, imagine someone in a country that they wouldn't have a bank account, or they wouldn't be able to how do you acquire Bitcoin, for example, if you don't have a bank account or if you have no way to enter? So anyone can actually enter, and then once they enter, they are able to participate in those activities. They are able to pay Pi to ask another pioneer for some type of labor, for example. You can buy goods and services, or you can even get paid for services that you provide for others.
Great. That's great. And that's nice insight that you give us there on how it works. So what does it mean for the future of mining and crypto mining to have the ability to do this right in the palm of your hands? We think about, the stories that are out there in these data centers that are just using so much electricity and energy, and, it's so heavy. But you guys have really revolutionized, how people can mine. So what does that mean now for the future of mining?
Yeah, I think this is the way to go, because if you think about it, Bitcoin proved to the world that it is possible to have digital currency, and it works. So the first time that it was implemented, it had to be with the way it was to be succeeded. So to succeed, it needed to have servers, it needed to be what it is. No matter how we started, now the world operates mobile. We are living in 2000, it's not 2009 anymore, it's 2022, and we're going to the future. So more and more people have exclusively mobile phones, and they don't have computers, or they're using their iPads and their mobile devices rather than. So if you were by saying that you have to exclude all those people from the process, then you're already making something very restrictive. So I think that it is the future, and I believe that even all blockchains are thinking towards that direction.
Great. Have you raised funding, and how do you guys make money?
Yeah, one important thing to know about Pi is that we avoided from the very beginning and the easy way of making money by selling the coin through those ICOs that happened in the crypto space. So Pi has never raised has never sold any coins for many years now. We've been operating for 3.5 years. And this is an important aspect. We actually feel this is more natural, because usually for companies, they may be operating and creating utility and creating their business for several years before they can go on an IPO, and then all of a sudden having this unnatural early influx of cash can create unnatural results as well, with what we have seen in happening with other news lately that have been communicated. And in terms of Pi, we bootstrapped as much as we could, and eventually raised some money as part of a traditional Silicon Valley startup from private investors.
Gotcha. So where do you want to take the company? What's ahead on the road of development, and what users can see in terms of the experience, in the next, year to 18 months, let's say?
Well, the goal is to have a very useful, widely accessible cryptocurrency that can allow a lot of people to be able to take advantage of the new utilities of blockchain. And by that I mean there is a lot of innovation that happens with smart money. So once money can have, some people call it smart contracts, there's multiple ways to think about it, but it's the first time in the world where you can have things like micro escrows or micro payments or other things that essentially creating a new era of possibilities in the world. So Pi is combining those facilities along with a large network of people participating to create something useful for the world. Specifically, that's for the longer term, as you said, a year and a half and beyond. In the meantime, from now until then, what's important is that we are currently in the process of completing KYC for the members of the network. So Pi is going to have millions of people who are crypto ready and KYC, and real people, real accounts on it. So we are currently in the process of doing this, and the goal is that once we have a large number of people who have initially KYC'd, to migrate their balances into their mainnet so that they can start exploring and using the currency.
Gotcha. Final question. We've just seen really an implosion in the cryptocurrency market, as we've seen in the regular, equity markets. Are you concerned about what you're seeing just broadly in the crypto space? And actually, is it good? Is it clearing out kind of the bad apples in the industry that, and then allowing it to kind of move forward in a better place? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it's usually an unpleasant thing to hear that any market may be going up and down. At the same time, it is a natural cycle that it happens all the time, and we have seen it in crypto multiple times as well, that there is a cycle. I also agree with the second part of your question, that you mentioned that this helps possibly clear out some activities that are maybe happening with the wrong incentives. So things that are more less of pointing towards something useful, but more leading the world towards, let's say, games, financial games that they can trick people. That clears out the landscape. But overall, for Pi, as I mentioned earlier, we never raised, we never sold Pi to any person. So there's no one who can be sad that the down cycle is here right now, because no one bought it at a higher price and now it's a lower price because no one could buy it to begin with. So essentially, to the Pi network, the way that the currency is used hasn't really been affected by the external market at all. Because, I can give you an example. Right now, people are spending 1 Pi to request to be KYC'd by the network. This 1 Pi, and everybody is paying 1 Pi, this 1 Pi is pooled and then distributed to some human validators, other people in the network who are helping complete the validation. So there's a pool of Pi that is then being paid out to the validators. So within the Pi network, before the crash, people were paying 1 Pi. During the crash, they were still paying 1 Pi, and after the crash, they're still paying 1 Pi, and they're getting paid the same amount that the validators they would. So it was completely no effect at the moment. So now in the future, of course, we all live in a connected world, right. And we don't necessarily, it's not necessarily always going to be living in a vacuum, but that's the current situation.
So what's a Pi worth? I'm curious.
So Pi is worth what pioneers make it worth. So in this specific case, that I described, you need to spend 1 Pi to get yourself KYC, and that 1 Pi is distributed back to validators, depending on how many validations are needed for each validation.
Great. Well, Nicholas Kokalis, we're grateful to have you with us today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
一起来看看 CNBC 对范博士的采访。
We're pleased to have Chengyao Fan. She's a founder of Pi Network. Chengyao, thank you so much for joining us today.
我们很高兴有范成雕博士，他是派网络的创始人，非常感谢你今天加入我们。
Thank you for having me.
I want to begin and just ask you, what is it about Pi Network? If you had to explain it,
我想开始问你，派网络是什么？如果你不得不向新手解释，这使得它对加密投资者来说是如此独特和有利。
First of all, our
先，我们的目标受众不一定是投资者，派是一种使用令牌，我们实际上针对的是普通人。事实上，其中一个，你们知道，派的任务是制造加密货币和区块链技术。可访问新包括我们如何做到这一点，最大限度地减少障碍，包括金融进入障碍，只投资部分。这就是为什么比特币是如何在以后进入的部分原因，因为它太高了，所以对于普通人来说，需要很多钱才能进入。障碍的另一个方面是技术障碍，这就是为什么我们让它变得容易访问，我们让它在今天最成功。通过挖掘，这个你是知道的，你认识的每个人和他们的亲人都能参与挖掘的人。
Great. So, as I understand it, the Pi
很好，据我所知，派货币只能在派网络上属于我。那么，我为什么要开采那枚货币，而不仅仅是比特币呢
？Well, to follow from my last answer, basically.
好吧，接下来你基本上知道我的最后一个答案，一个是免费的2个原因。大家只要愿意为这个网络和生态系统做出贡献，可以参与。第二件事很容易做，你不一定需要一些计算机科学知识才能设置节点，了解共识算法以进行挖掘。而比特币，你却需要为你的电费花很多钱来运行比特币节点，这就是为什么派更容易挖掘。
我想回到这一点，关于能源，因为这是一个非常有趣的问题。跟我谈谈代币的效用，那么如果我把它最小化什么？为什么作为一个用户和矿工对我有什么好处？
因此，派的愿景是实际构建一个拥有各种可用商品和服务的生态系统。在派中购买什么样的商品和服务？不只是像商品，不仅仅是投资产品货物，就像网络多商品和服务的类型，意味着它可以帮助你，为你带来便利或查看你的需要。这不包括在内。你知道的，从投资的角度来看，这实际上是为了实际效用，对回报的理解很有意义。
It's literally for practical benefits than just a return, understanding of a return.
Gotcha. It makes sense. It makes sense. Have you raised any funding and how do you make money?
你筹集到资金了吗？你是怎么赚钱的
？As you know, the Pi network is free.
正如你们所知，派网络是免费的。对于我的，所以在你们知道的令牌方面，我们决定给我们80%的免费供应给社区每一位矿工，核心团队收到20%。在所有的硬币中，我们从来没有卖过任何硬币。可能这是我们努力使其尽可能符合要求的一个方面。我们从未运行过任何 ICO。支持业务，我们在运营它，就像我们在股票上 阅读一些基金的任何其他迂回的。科技初创公司一样支持操作公司的。
Got you. I want to go back to your point about energy, because
我想回到你关于能源的观点，因为上周纽约立法者通过了一项法案，在2年内禁止某些类型的比特币开采使用对环境有害的能源。他正在等待纽约州州长的最后签名。很多人把这个故事看作是一个晴雨表，预示着在该国其他地区和其他州也可能发生这样的事情。你认为这是一个好的举动吗？你认为这对派网络有什么影响？尤其是你之前提到的关于低能源的观点。
Well, its impact on Pi Network is, I guess,
它对派网络的影响是，这不一定会直接影响我们，因为我们完全使用不同于工作证明。因此，作为不同类型的共识算法，我们正在使用联邦拜占庭协议，它依赖于信任图而不是能源，所以这个共识算法依赖于信任图来实现动态形成节点的子集合内部。克隆票据正在互相传递信息，说明他们事后认为这项交易是真实的。然后，这种共识可以达到做出决定的最终目的。好的，我为网络做决定，稍后再阅读。根据我的描述，它依赖于一种传输行为，这就是为什么所有这些手机用户都在贡献，这就是为什么他们在挖掘移动矿工，然后依靠它。票据正在通过交易进行决策，你知道的，互相传递同意或不同意的信息。这样说你能理解。今天任何一台笔记本电脑都可以在线并发送信息彼此，这就是为什么天生该算法不一定依赖于能源，这就是派网络的根本原因。不像经典的工作证明共识算法那样消耗大量能源。
And that is the fundamental reason why Pi Network is not consuming a lot of energy like the classic proof of work consensus algorithm.
Understood. Final question. Pi Network has a huge following worldwide.
最后一个问题，你们知道 Pi Network 在全世界有很多追随者，你把你的成功归于什么？需要什么来进一步扩大在美国派网络的存在
？Well, we are actually, because I guess our
好，事实上，我们是因为我想我们团队的大部分总部都在美国，实际上是最大的社区之一。然而，派网络是一个社会实践项目，实际上，我们有200多个来自这些国家的先驱的分布式用户，我们现在几乎是世界上的每一个地区。你知道的，不一定要这么做。增加一定的人口，因为这是一个社交链项目，但为了要在每个地区发展，基本上要继续培育更多的公用事业，持续继续建设我们的社区。作为派网络的一部分，我们的身份感到增强，它来自底层、流动层、社会结构层、文化层，三者都有。作为一个完整的堆砌，构建一个充满活力的派网络生态系统。
Layers as a full stack of building a full vibrant ecosystem of Pi Network.
What a fascinating company that you've built, and we thank you for sharing.
你们建立了一家多么迷人的公司，我们感谢你们的分享。我们对您正在从事的工作的一些见解，它的工作原理，以及您对其未来发展的想法。谢谢范，是的，非常感谢你今天抽出时间来参加我们的活动。
Thank you. Thank you.